Now, Boris, shambolic as he is, and he was certainly shambolic in that speech, it worked. But when Whitty spoke, there was no real policy.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And I'm sorry, Calvin, I also want our top scientific officers to tell us what they really think.
Yeah.
And there are too many people who are not medically qualified or scientifically qualified who have been calling these people idiots.
I agree. You've just done the very thing
right?
on this show. You are not medically qualified, but you're calling people idiots for making a decision different to your
That's
own.
my opinion on their refusal to have it.
You're proving your own points, John. It's fantastic.
That's
it's good to see.
ridiculous.
So let me break down everything else
listen,
you
if
just
we're
said.
going to have a debate, we're going to have a
My turn to
global
talk.
debate.
This is how it works. You talk, then I talk. That's how it works on this programme.
Oh, go on.
Let me break down everything else. Let me just break down everything else.
I'll do that. John.
You may bully everyone else that comes on this show, but you will not bully me, OK? I will have my turn to talk. Thank you very much. Yes, I've watched you. I've watched you
Can I stop you both? Sorry, can I stop you both?
Carry on.
I would if you let me.
John, that's very nice of you, but it's my show. Now, Calvin, what are you saying?
Right, so everything he's just said is incorrect. Yes, there is a policy. The policy is that events of over 500 need to show vaccine certificates and or proof of lateral flow to get in. The policy is also that we have to wear masks in shops again. There are clear policies that have been put in place. I don't agree with those policies, but there are policies. We're also seeing coercion. John seems to be in favour of that because there are more vaccines being taken up. I think it's very, very bad for a government to coerce its population into taking a medical procedure. And you can't sit there and say it cannot be criticised. The vaccine absolutely can be criticised. Everything should be criticised. There is nothing in our society that is not open to debate. And to sit there and call people refuseniks or idiots for making a different medical decision to yourself, and then in the next breath say people without medical training should not be sitting there calling people idiots, shows your hypocrisy. It's quite scary.
I don't think you need to be a medical expert to realise that the vaccination system has reduced transmission massively, has also reduced deaths massively, has reduced the effects massively. Or do you dispute that science? I'm just saying that as a member of the public, what I've observed. Are you telling me that's untrue, Calvin?
Well, the point of it is that when we're taking medical advice, for me, personally, I'd rather take it from the chief medical officer as opposed to some MPs who may or may not have vested interests. I don't know what their interests are. But I don't think that listening to what Chris Whitty said, that he was actually making policy. So I don't understand why these MPs are coming up and saying that when all I see is Chris Whitty saying, use your own judgment, which is what people and a lot of these MPs have been calling for. So when they're giving it, why are they complaining?
I agree to some extent. I think we should see everything that the CMO puts forward. We should see everything that all of the medical advisors put forward to the government, and we should see the evidence behind the government's decisions. That would be fantastic and very sensible. I think why this is a little bit more sketchy is it seems like the CMO was contradicting the PM who took his advice on board and then came up with a different decision. That's where I think it's coming from.
But isn't it what you said? So basically, you're saying that Boris took the CMO's advice and then did something slightly different. Isn't it Boris's job to take, as you said at the beginning, take the bits of information, then come up with a decision, which is exactly what he's done?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Do you think the vaccination programme's worked?
In what sense do you mean by
Well,
worked?
do you think it has reduced transmission, reduced the threat to us, and reduced deaths?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
OK. So the chief medical...
Do you think that was a gotcha moment or something, John?
No, I don't need to do a gotcha moment with you.
The problem...
You're being so defensive.
I am, because I've watched you every week come on here and bully people, and I'm not up for that.
You don't need to be so
John, you started the moment I walked into the green room, so let's not...
Sorry.
I did not, Calvin. I didn't speak to you in the green room.
Yes, you did. That's an outright lie.
John and Calvin, stop.
Well,
I'll tell you what's wrong with the vaccine programme is that we've been promised...
I need to have my say, though.
Yeah, but let him just...
We've been promised that 50 million jabs to freedom. We've been promised that enough people getting the vaccine leads to us getting our civil liberties restored, and that's not been the case. We reached 50 million jabs, our freedoms weren't restored, and we still have freedoms curtailed. But what we're seeing in British Gibraltar this week is that it's the most vaccinated place in the world, and they are still cancelling Christmas. They are still making restrictions on their lifestyles because everyone being vaccinated is not enough.
Well, just think how bad it would have been if they hadn't been vaccinated. Yeah. That is what I look at. I think
compare Gibraltar to Great Britain. It's a completely... Have you been to Gibraltar?
It's a lovely place.
The majority of the people who work in Gibraltar come from the Spanish mainland. Come in every day. I've been there many, many times and worked there as well. But going back to your point, the vaccination system, I'm glad to say that you say it's worked. But this idea, because they said 50 million jabs to freedom, or whatever they've said, that can never be changed, that's set in stone. Things have changed. Variants, more infection. It's happened. No one had a crystal ball. No one had faced this before. Boris Johnson has made lots of mistakes, but to constantly bash him and constantly berate the system, which the majority of people, Kelvin, you're in the minority, let me tell you, the majority of people are backing this system. And for the evidence of that, well,
how do you speak for the majority?
I would say, I'm not speaking for them.
You literally just said, I'm in the minority, you speak for the majority.
You are in the minority.
Back it up. How?
Because the majority of people, many people, Kelvin, after Boris spoke, went and got the booster or went and got the first or the second jab. That's a fact.
So let's also look at other facts.
That's not open to interpretation.
Let's look, of course it is.
The majority of people in this country have had the vaccine.
Yeah.
You haven't had it, I presume, because
it's none of your business if I have or haven't. It's absolutely none of your business, John, to sit on national television and talk about my personal medical history.
Well, I would assume, I assume from that, then you haven't had it.
You can assume whatever you like, but it's none of your business either way.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
you are out of line and out of order.
I will actually talk about what you said in the green room when you refused to have a lateral flow test or prove that you had one today. Is that what you want to do? Let's go down that route.
Let's talk about that.
Let's go down that route.
Can I just remind you again that we'll go down the route that I say. Hang on. We'll go down the route that I say, and we're not going down that route, right? Okay. So